Hey world, it's your girl Raina, and I'd like to thank all of you for choosing to tune back in with me. We are about to do interview number 2 with my friend Joel Bryant, CEO of QDN Digital Network. Want you all to tune in and check in and see what he has going on. Amazing things on his network that he's doing for the community and the world altogether. Let's dig a little bit deeper. I want to get deeper into how you pulled yourself away from the record companies and started doing all of your own distribution, marketing, basically becoming the one-stop shop for your artists. Like,
Right.
let's talk about that.
Okay. So after I was in the business for a couple years, just being able to analyze what was going on and, coming off the records that we had that was doing pretty good, I realized that it was a flawed system. So it's a little different than it is now to when it's where it's so low to create products and you can send a MP4 out or MP3 out just with one push of the button. Back then we spent a lot of money in just creating a record. Number one, it cost you a whole lot of money just to record. It cost a lot of money because we had vinyl back then, and you would, have to ship the vinyl out all over the country, and then you would, pay different DJs, to try to spin your records. It was just a whole lot of cost. So before you would even make a dime, you're at least $100,000 in the hole a lot of times. So when you really look at a business model, right, that wasn't the type of model to sustain. Most record labels would 80% of the products that they dropped, they would actually lose money. So they were surviving off of the hit records. So I started realizing that. I'm like, man, we steady recording, we steady promoting records, the hidden costs that you're not charging back to artists, going to clubs, dropping some DJs some money, go ahead and put this on, stuff like that. And I don't think artists understood that. But I don't think that the record labels, when, back in those days, it was just about profit. I think it was more about laundering money and getting their money to where they can turn it to clean money. So I don't think that model was a model for profit. So, yeah. So what I started doing is start analyzing the whole industry and how retail worked. And we had our own sales team where we would just call the stores all across the country. We would go out, meet the stores, and we would do marketing and promotion. So the one thing that I really said that we had to do was to be able to sell multiple hot products. So say, for instance, we had Detroit Most Wanted. They were hot in certain markets, but in other markets, they weren't hot.
Okay.
So we would have to sell it to a distributor who was selling other hot products to get it into those stores, because it wouldn't be financially worth them just buying 10 CDs from us or 10 cassettes from us back in the day.
Okay.
So what I started doing is I said, let's start wholesaling. So we want to wholesale everybody's product. So when Tupac come out, I'm getting a percentage of that. When Biggie come out, I'm getting a percentage of that.
So you weren't just wholesaling from your label and your
Right.
friends that had labels. You were just wholesaling all artists, period.
Right. That was
So-
the move that I made. We wanted to start wholesaling. So when, just say, for instance, you're a store and you don't know about one of our new artists, and I say, I want you to try it. So now you call me and you say, I want 20 Machiavellis, I want 10 Biggies, I want 5 Anita Bakers. And then now you say, well, we'll try 5 of those. So now,
Gotcha.
yeah. So
and
now,
you're already a trusted source for them. So if it's
Right.
something that you recommend,
Right.
or if you
There
even
you
have
go.
it in your hands in the
There you
first
go.
place, they're
Yes.
going to be like, all right, let me see
Yes,
what you hitting
yes.
on. Gotcha.
So I dug
Okay.
deep down into that business model. And also, like, okay, we selling somebody else's stuff, so we might only be making 10%.
Okay.
And so, but we're moving a whole lot of product. So the first product that I got in was Machiavelli.
Really?
Right. I bought Machiavelli, but maybe a month after that, I started really digging deep. So what separated us from the other wholesalers was that I started buying from Canada. So Canada, now the reason why we were buying from Canada is because the exchange rate.
Okay.
So the exchange rate was about 20% different. The dollar was 20% different than the Canadian dollar
Yes.
was cheaper. So now I'm getting in all the product and I'm undercutting
less.
all the companies. And that's what kind of like started a war because the white companies, the white supremacist companies, they were coming after me at this time because we were selling so much product. Yeah, because they were like, "How this guy out here selling," and they were really, coming at me. They were calling the stores, "Y'all don't deal with them. They got fake product. They got this. They got that," and that's how we kind of got into the market. Yeah.
So, a quick question: this transition that you were making into doing everything on your own with your own team, this was during your contract that you still have with Ichiban, or had you already removed yourself?
No, it was after.
So this was after,
Yeah, this
okay.
was probably. It was late '95, early '96 because. So, let me see. So '96 came. That's when the Tupac All Eyes on Me. We started buying those products from distributors who were carrying that, and so going into '97 is when we started buying from Canada.
Okay.
So yeah, so it was the '96, '97 era. So
Okay.
yeah.
So, what was the catalyst that I guess pushed you out of, like, you know what, I'm done. I'm done dealing with other people. Was there a specific event that happened, or just
Throughout,
as you were in there and learning the process
Right.
and like, yeah, I could do this myself?
So throughout business, no matter what business it was in, I was always wanted to be independent. I just didn't understand why people had to always get a percentage of what we were doing. But I think it was all about, with most people that get in business, about the quick money. How can I see it? I never saw it like that. I saw building a brand, building something for the ages. So I always looked at it like that. So I just had to get in and figure it out because I still was new to the music business. I didn't grow up where my parents was in the business or anything like that. So I didn't really know the business.
Okay.
So I just wanted to once I, and then also looking at Ishaban on how they did it.
Yes.
And I started doing numbers and I was like, okay, they're distributing products. They're taking 30%, right? But then they'll pay you like in 6 or 7 months. So they were putting out hundreds and hundreds of products, and I started seeing the game for what it was. It was all about just like a bank. It was about controlling the money, right? You control the money, and then just say, for instance, you do $1 million in sales in 1 month. Now you owe out of that $1 million, but you sitting on it for 6 months before you pay somebody. So now you flipping that money, and you flipping it. So to replace that $1 million, you just got to sign up enough new artists that got product to replace the $1 million, which means that $1 million is always in your hand.
You always have it.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah.
I'm just wondering, and you would be the person to ask for this. Do the record companies allow you as the producer or as the artist to see, like, do you get an itemized statement of this, and this, but you owe this? Like, do you get a breakdown? Or are you expected, because you signed a contract, to just trust whatever numbers are presented to you? I just always wondered how that...
No, they give them royalty statements. So just say, for instance, we start distributing a lot of companies. So it'd be basically like, these are your sales, and these are minus your expenses.
Okay.
But on the other end, when you have artists, the money that you paid that you can't charge back, they never knew about all that money. So that's why, like, the artist is the biggest beneficiary of product, even though the world thinks it's different. So if you're an artist and you come to me and say, look, I just need you to put me out. You know what I'm saying? I can sing, but there's millions of people that can sing. So we take our resources, the hundreds of people that might be on our staff, and we get behind you, right? And we start promoting your products and all of that. 80% of the time, we're going to lose money. But you can have one hit single and now you touring off that for the rest of your life. We've changed your life. That's basically how it works.
So
Yeah.
basically, you have the talent, but what the people don't see is the plethora of people doing the work to push you,
right,
to get you
right.
in the light.
And so now you're seeing now that they're saying, "Oh,
That's
we
how
want to
they
get,
benefit.
we want to get our catalog back," and I'm just like, "How does that work? You get your catalog back?" That's just like I come out with the Cadillac, and the person who's the engineer that I was paying come and say, "I want my Cadillac back. I invented it." And it's like, no, you got paid for what you did. So this is the biggest ripoff. I'm not understanding where artists is coming with this about we want to get our catalog back, because how the industry is set up, right, is that if you wrote a song, right, you get paid for your writers. That's split 50-50 between publishing and writing. Okay. So you wrote a song, just say we wrote a song together. Then we will split that between the publishing and the writing.
Okay.
You'll get separate checks for that. And now, in this day and age, it's money for everything to set aside. So how are you going to take a record label's product when they the one that owned it and they manufactured? They came to you. Say, for instance, with the TLC situation, right? And I saw them on one of those shows. When it was like, "Oh, TLC lost so much money," and I'm just like, that excuse me, that was Pebbles Group, wasn't it? She put that together, and she had auditions. It was her product. You see what I'm saying? They hired them to sing. They make money off of doing shows. They make money if they wrote the song. They make money off each record that's sold. How is it somebody else? I'm not understanding that. Please help me. In any other industry, do we do that?
Okay. I like how you break that down, especially I guess me, because I'm a visual person. So as you're saying it, I'm building like a tier in my mind.
Right.
So you were the group, and you were getting paid for your talent.
Right.
And if you didn't write the song, then you definitely really don't own it at all.
Right.
The person who.
Well, no. Let me kind of explain that further. If you wrote the song, okay, it's separate
as the artist
money.
or just someone separately?
It don't matter if you the artist, if you separate or whatever. Whoever wrote the song is money that comes out of the sales, right?
That goes to them.
That goes to you. It's money every time that you get played on the radio. It's mechanical royalties that are collected for you.
Okay.
Everybody who had a part in that song
Gets
a cut. But the label is still taking the biggest risk. You see what I'm saying? Because on most of those records, they losing money on. Gotcha. That's what I'm saying to you.
Okay.
You know, and it's like even with the streaming, artists be like, streaming, we only making this. No, streaming is what's made you rich. You understand what I'm saying? Streaming is what's making you rich. But what it is you going through these other companies, YouTube and all this. What if you just streamed it yourself?
And they're taking.
Yeah, so we got to
like going through a record label.
Yeah, they basically what you're
sense.
doing is you saying, I got a partner. Everybody needs partners. I got a partner. Your job is to do this. Your job is to do this. So now when there's so much money, you just spend millions on doing everything that you're doing with the mansion, you run out of money. Now it's like, I can't believe that the record label got this. I'm the artist. It's like, you're not serious, are you? Okay. But when you was broke, you see what I'm saying?
It was fine.
Yeah. It's almost like a husband. Taste. It's like a husband and a wife. You get married, and then now you stay home with the kids, and he went out, and y'all accumulated all this stuff together, and you said, I'm gonna do this, and now he come back and like, oh, you don't get nothing. Yeah. Or I want my money back because I brought the bread home. No, y'all both did it together. Yeah, and so so if we start thinking more of ownership and more business-like, then we would do better in what we're doing. But we always feel like that we need white supremacy to make us successful when we don't.
Why do you think that is, though?
I think slavery, going back to how we've been trained, and then also pushing the narrative of money, right? So the value of money, I think, or what people think the value of money is. And I would argue we overvalue money, because I can sit home all day long. You can go to a job every day, and I can create more value than you can create. See, being rich is not about how much money or cash that you make during the
Accumulate.
course of a week. Like I can't remember the last time that I said, "Oh, I got a check coming in at $800 a week." No, the only thing I'm thinking of is my company was worth $1 million this year. It should be worth 1.5, 2 million next year, 4 million,
Growth.
8 million. But we think in small terms, like oh, I need this money, and really we not creating wealth.
Yeah.
It's ways to create wealth that we just, we so fixed on how much money I got this week.
I was gonna say.
We're not investing into infrastructure. Now, the one thing about me, I've always invested in infrastructure. When I first started hustling or whatever, all my money always went back into the company and to, if I need a warehouse, I'm buying a warehouse.
Yeah.
If I need machines, I'm buying those machines. But in the long run, it's paying off.
And I think, unfortunately, especially in the Black community, because, and it's unfortunate, but statistically proven the value and the life cycle of a dollar in a Black household is extremely short.
Right.
And it is one of those, once we get a little bit, it's just so quick to spend.
Right.
Not realizing, like you said, if you're not feeding back into yourself, if you basically recycling your own money, basically to make it grow.
What I want people to think about is this: when you say, "Oh, everything's rigged," this, I want you just to go back over your life, just the last 6 months, and see how much money you blew, how much money you spent. Because it's never about how much you make; it's about how much you spend and living within your means. Like you could have took that money and invested in this and that. Now, we already know what it is on the other side. I'm not saying that that's not, oh, well, white supremacy ain't holding us back. Of course it is. But what I'm saying, we can beat that. You see what I'm saying? Like, we can beat it because we can quit getting confused about who the bad guys and who the good guys. You see what I'm saying? But since you're so fixated on money, you let people trick you, because when things go bad in your life, the first thing to do is say, man, all these people doing this. All these people doing that to me. No, you're doing it to yourself. Because if we would vote, if we would do all the simple things, here go number one. Why are we spending money with companies who come out there and invest in laws against us? Why do we do that? You see what I'm saying? Like, it's simple.
But there's also, in a small degree, a simple one answer to that is because people are uneducated and probably don't even know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you got to want to be educated. You know what I'm saying? So the thing, when I say education, I don't mean just school.
No, like educated and on top of current events and what's going on in the world, But I think, sadly, our culture, Black, whatever, everyone at this point is so wrapped up in social media that we're not focusing on the right things.
Right.
And like you said, your focus is so on what everyone else is doing and how come they this, and this, when the focus should be you. What should I be doing? What can I be doing?
Right.
So
great partnership too. So whatever, when you do a deal with somebody, right? Respect the deal that you did with that person. If you made a mistake and thought you did a deal that wasn't fair to you, then on your next deal, learn from that. But what we want to do is we want to burn the whole house down. We getting treated unfair. But like I say, when you first started off and you needed that person to invest in you and all of that, you was wide open.
Yeah.
Now you coming back and talking about how unfair the system is.
Yeah.
Making money is the easiest thing you could do. And I don't want to sound to people like, oh, you just, no, because I see it every day when I'm dealing with all these different cultures. They come down here, they open up stores. I was just talking to a guy last week. He said, I came down here with nothing. He's a millionaire in a couple of years. He didn't get no loans. He didn't get anything. They just don't spend money. The other cultures don't spend money before they take care of their business like that.
Well, very
they
frivolous.
keep it simple. Yeah. So it's, I want to look at this not like I'm just scolding our people. What I'm saying is you can win. You know what I'm saying? You can win, but you got to want to win. But it start with great partnership. You see what I'm saying? Like where we losing at right now is because, our divorce rate is so high, and what we not putting first is, our partnerships is what's going to make us. You see, everything not going to be perfect, and that could mean in relationships, as far as marriage. That could mean in just the people that you're dealing with, as far as the companies you're dealing with. Everything. We got to have great partnerships. And so getting like-minded individuals around you who want to really, go to another level in whatever it is you're doing, your energy matching their energy, those things are important. Because right now, you get around people that's telling you, oh, man, you can't do this. Why are you trying this? Run.
Yeah.
If your husband telling you that, run. If your wife telling you that, run. You can do anything you want to do.
Yeah.
And I really believe that.
That is true,
Yeah.
having the right people behind you, backing you up.
Right.
But just for the people that do hear to get the skepticism and the doubt, I could also see them being hesitant when they do get that encouragement. Because you're so brainwashed to the negativity or people telling you what you can't do.
Right.
That it might actually be hard to receive someone giving you that positive push without thinking what they want from me.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying in the end? So
yeah. And that's what the new book is about. It's about the poverty gene, why we're acting like we're acting, and it goes back to, what we've been through, slavery and, really has did something to us, Jim Crow laws and just all the, discrimination that we've been through. So, but we got to push through it. We can't go backwards. We got to push through it. So that's where we at.
It is. I would agree with you there. It's just hurtful to see. And I'm just going to be transparent here as a woman that is divorced.
Right.
Definitely understanding what you're saying as far as partnership. And also being able to see the disconnect in our relationships and our marriages compared to other cultures. And I don't know if this is going too personal, but I just want to, even how it trickles down to our children. So I've made the decision to get counseling for my children for the divorce or whatever. And it saddened me that my son made the comment of white families being better.
Right.
So you and I as adults know what needs to take place. But if we're not feeding that into our children, then this is going to be a generation that's not, it's still going to be off.
Yeah.
The balance isn't going to balance out.
Yeah. So unfortunately, our kids, with how life is now with, one parent working and the other parent is gone or whatever, is like that the streets is kind of still co-raising the kids, and I don't think it's hard to keep them away from social media, from what's going on in school, that we really think that. Yeah. But if you want to see some dysfunction, let me take you to all these little cities I drive through, these white cities. I'll show you dysfunction. Okay? So actually, black families, it's a lot of black families doing well.
There are, and that's what I tried to explain to him.
It's like if you take out the top 1% of the people who, white supremacists that's controlling that, it's a lot of black families that's doing well. Yeah, but I concur. It's a lot of people got multiple incomes and stuff like that, but they don't promote that. So I think, look at the SNAP benefits. There's more white people on it than black people. We're used to this. Like they
used to hearing statistically how much something is more prevalent in the African American community than others. Yeah, I remember that from being in high school and
I had an ex that used to, I'm sorry, man.
No, I'm just saying it's nothing new.
I had an ex that used to always say, we just so poor we don't have a problem. I say, you just don't get out and you don't know. There's a lot of black people doing well. Why do you think they doing everything that they doing now? They doing it for a reason. They trying to take the money back.
Yeah.
So we go back to the 1920s. We go back, where they had to come and burn everything down. That's because black people know how to build.
Yes.
I think that we get a bad shake on, what we did. No, we did stuff, you just came and stole it. So what we have to do.
And also don't teach, because they
Right.
don't really, I never
Right.
learned about
Right.
Black Hollywood in Tulsa.
Right.
They didn't teach me that in school.
Right.
So I think also, other than the major heavy hitters that you hear, Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, there are so many other individuals and so many more accomplishments that we
Right.
have as a people, that I think sometimes if we were more in tuned and aware of those, it's kind of like a fire.
Right.
And it might be smoldering, but you put a little bit of gasoline or throw some kindling in there, and it's just, it ignites and it does something. And it,
Right.
once you get that fire going, it pushes you to want to do something. If we could
Right.
catch that fire as a people, man, we'd be
Right.
so dope.
Yeah. It's gonna happen.
But anyway, we got a little sidetrack.
Yeah, that's okay. Listen, we get back to where we, yeah. But that's where the passion is now. It's just so much going on that you got to touch
You
on
do,
that.
you
Yeah.
do.
Uh-huh.
But these are kind of
Okay.
topics that'll be on your Woke at Midnight.
Woke at Midnight.
Right?
There you go. So we
Yeah.
gave you a 20-minute sample of what's going to be on Woke at Midnight.
So
Yeah.
make sure you tune in.
Right,
Yeah, so we
right,
can
right.
keep talking
Uh-huh,
and
yeah.
digging further into
Right.
just this life that we live in.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But it still all circles back to why you decided to distribute and do
Yeah.
your own thing with your company. So who are some of the record labels that you had close relationships with?
So in let's see. So what happened? So 1996, we're doing well, and we're distributing. We're getting more into the distribution part. So we picking up independent artists, as far as just distributing their products, who dropping stuff they self, and then we're also one stopping, which means we're wholesaling, we're carrying everybody's product.
Okay.
Plus, we're still putting out music. So in 1997. It could have been late 96, early 97. My neighbor brings me a tape, and it was the BG from Cash Money. It's All on You, Volume 1, Volume 2. So at that point, we were doing real good with a lot of the Masterpiece stuff and underground movies and stuff like that he was putting out. So we was really
I remember
eating off.
those.
Yeah, we were really eating off of that. Then I got the Cash Money. So I was like, ooh, I really like this. I listened to it and I called the number on the back, and Baby answered. And I was just like, look, this thing hot. Now, they were already doing pretty good in the South, New Orleans, Texas, and I knew the distributors up there. I think Selecto Hits was carrying the product. I was like, look, I can blow this out for you. Send this to me. And he sent it the next day. I had it. And I had flea market stores and regular stores up in Atlanta. And we started blowing that out. So we were really, really, selling a lot of that music. And I also, since I liked it so much, I actually went to Detroit and Chicago and did a little trip, even though it wasn't our product, just to promote it.
Oh, wow.
Yes, yeah. So we really did good that year off of that. And then they end up signing with Universal Music.
Okay.
So we did that, and then I think later on we had the first Pastor Troy album. We was distributing that. So we got a lot of the hot stuff. We were either making money off of through wholesaling or either distributing it. So we had a piece of almost everything.
Yes. And then for your artists, who were your artists at this time that were definitely benefiting from the fact that you were basically doing everything?
Well, basically 96, 97, Detroit Most Wanted had their third album, because 91, 93, 94, their third or their fourth album in 96. I think AWOL 95, 96. So we were still, having, putting out the second and third albums on the artists that we already had signed, but we had tons of artists
Yeah.
back then.
Okay.
Probably had about 50, 60 artists, but we was distributing other labels. So we were the distributor. So when companies would come out, what Ishabine was doing, we stepped into that place.
Where they? Okay.
Yeah, so we was distributing, one stopping. Oh, I'm sorry. We was distributing, we were one stopping, and we were doing everything. So we just had a full-fledged distribution chain from the top to the bottom going.
And what was your actual record label that you were signing artists under?
Well, to be honest with you, Rockefeller Records was one of our records. That's who we had Splack Pack under. Bryant Records, Worldwide Records, and I had a whole lot of record labels, But Rockefeller Records, before Jay-Z and them used Rockefeller Records, we really owned the name of Rockefeller Records. And everybody was like, yeah, sue him, sue him, sue him. I was like, yeah, I'm going to sue him. Then I started thinking about what they were doing and stuff, and I was like, nah, I don't want to bring down another black company to even, you know what I'm saying? So I was always like pro-black, let's build some stuff.
Yeah,
it wasn't
instead of
about
tearing
tearing each other down.
Crabs in a bucket.
But yeah, Rockefeller Records, my auntie, Regina, started calling me Rockefeller back in like 90, 89, 88, and then I started the label. Bryant Records was the first label, but we had different labels up under there. So Rockefeller Records was one of the labels we put out, Convicted Felons and Splack Pack.
Okay.
Under that.
I was going to ask, as soon as you said Rockefeller, you're going to have to explain that.
Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah.
Everybody's going to want an explanation for that one.
Yeah, it wasn't the same Rockefeller. We had
It's
Rockefeller. We could have been fighting over the name, but,
Yeah.
we got to quit being crabs in the barrel.
We do. We do.
Yeah.
So I do want to ask, this kind of circles back to our conversation a few minutes ago, but, and it's unfortunate, but you also were incarcerated, 4-time jail, let me not make it as heavy, but still, in reading the book, and knowing that that's something that you went through, I enjoyed the fact that for one, I'm sorry that happened. That part sucks. But it almost seems like you flourished. Unfortunately, it was for supposed domestic abuse.
Right.
And so you did have to separate yourself. Like we touched on earlier, having the right partner,
Right.
What was your thought process in that time, however long you were in jail? Like how it was going to affect the business? Was it running smoothly? Were your people taking care of it because you weren't there? What's for an entrepreneur, business owner with so many things going on, so many prominent associations, what's the thought process?
Well, I was only in jail for like a day or two. It might have been 2 days. It might have been a day.
Oh, well, that's not.
Yeah. I was just in jail for a day. So it was. I just got arrested for because we had an argument basically. So I don't know where the domestic came from or whatever, but that was So at that point, it was time to move on, because once that starts happening, you want to focus. So a lot of times when you can get distractions out of your life, you can focus on what you're doing. So the whole key is to really eliminate any distractions and make it about your path. Because if you and your partner ain't on the same path, that don't mean you don't love each other. That don't mean anything. But, you want to be able to be on that same path so the distractions don't get to you. Because if your partner knows this is the end goal, this is what we're trying to accomplish, and y'all on the same thing.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Then now you can make things happen because that's the most important thing.
Okay.
Because it's for you, it's for your kids' legacy, it's for everything. So I think that's where we really got to tighten up at, more purpose-driven life.
Yeah.
So now as far as going back then with me at that point, so you're talking about 97, 98, I was doing a lot of stuff because I was also coaching my kids. So I was coaching and sponsoring the teams, and I was doing all that for years and still running the company, running the stores. I had music stores, all together I had like 31 music stores. At one time I had 7 or 8.
And these were Detroit. They were all
No,
over?
I did also. I had a little location in Detroit, but I had most of them in Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah, then we were selling all across
Because you had
the
the
country.
office in Buckhead at this time.
Yeah,
You
I had
already-
the office in Buckhead. I think we were just moving out. I think the office in Buckhead was 94 to 96 or 97, something
Okay.
like that. And we had multiple stores. And we were wholesaling. We were just building up. I was doing a lot of stuff with the labels at this time. I was like I think SoundScan started coming out. So SoundScan was how you determine what artists would be on the charts and be number one. So we were I had 7 SoundScan stores. So when you were a SoundScan store, they would give you free product. I think this was getting closer to the 2000s because I just remember with Jay-Z and all those products, and we getting truckloads of it. And so we was really starting to eat in that area because we were SoundScan stores and we were moving a lot of product and we were wholesaling a lot of product. I mean, it was good. Then we started moving over into the mix CDs at that point because a lot of artists start just putting out mix CDs. So anything that was how we delivered music, we was a part of it. We had to be.
Your artists were doing mix CDs as well?
Well, what we were doing with our artists is that we would just put mix CD, like one of their songs on a CD, and then eventually, all the artists started doing mix CDs at one. But when it first started, we would like take hot songs and get them to DJs, right? And then as mix CDs developed and people was just dropping a whole mix CD, which was really an album, then we start, doing that too. So, yeah.
So especially now because you're speaking of mix CD and we're doing CDs more now than vinyls at this point in your story. I remember bootlegging
Right.
and you would go to the store and the gas station and everybody was just burning the CDs.
Right.
How did that affect you?
It affected me positively. You see,
How so?
Yeah, because it didn't matter. Like we was just adjusting. So at that point, we were doing both. We were selling. You talking about like the underground CDs. Like you would, like remember all the underground Tupacs that was just popping up everywhere. You either sold them or you was out the business. So people would have these CDs and they would come up with them, and we would sell them. So we were selling everything. That's what they was really calling mixed CDs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was underground. We didn't just sell traditional bootlegs, like just copying somebody's stuff. But
Oh, no.
Yeah, but
I was saying how people selling bootlegs out of like their trunk or
Right.
whatever. So that would,
Yeah. Yeah.
when you buy it from them versus going to the store, you just saved yourself
Yeah,
$10,
they called it
$15.
mixed CD. They was calling it mixed CDs even though it was their album. You see what I'm saying? So it was like a mixed CD that they put out, and we was just selling it all. But the business was really going down. But I went to a convention in Texas, and this was maybe I'm not sure what year, but they let us know that the whole game was about to change in 5 years. Streaming was going to be the new thing. Because at this point, it was getting kind of slow for music, because there was so many people bootlegging and just copying it. And they was letting it go on because they knew that they had the streaming coming out. So I knew streaming was about to do what it did 10 years before it did it.
That makes sense.
So I was just there. They invited me down there and we talked about it. And so they set that up for at least 10 years.
Really? I didn't. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
new fact to
yeah,
me.
yeah.
So you having firsthand knowledge of that
Mm-hmm.
and being able to foresee what was coming,
Mm-hmm.
now you need to pivot then from a business standpoint.
Well, so it was a couple things going on. I was definitely pivoting, right? So the music stores were still doing well, but when so now when 911 came, what year was 911? 2001 or something like that. Whatever year that was, and Bush was in. Those years it started getting slow because it was one disaster
After
after
another,
another
yeah.
disaster. So it started getting slow, but we were still doing all right. We was just hanging in there. So at that point, it was just like, now I have stores now that I sell to in the cosmetic business. And I was listening to a story of them telling us that they had 20 some stores and they were selling underground mixes and stuff like that. And they changed it all to beauty supply. So I made the change later on, but I didn't make it as quick as I should have made it.
Oh, okay. That's what I
You
was
see what I'm
leaning to. Is
saying?
that
Yeah,
when
yeah,
you made?
yeah.
Is that when
Right.
you were like, you know what?
No,
Let
it
me
was
find
years.
something else to do.
No. It was years later, and I was, I was still making money off wholesaling and things like that. But what ended up happening was, I told you like in the first interview that I met a young lady, and I had already started building new clientele to sell our products, and that was through the convenience stores and through other different stores. And I started to bring in other type of products. So then when I got with her and saw this cosmetics, I was like, this is it.
Okay.
So now we had started a lip gloss company and makeup, but I never went through with that because me and her ended up going our separate ways.
Okay.
But I ended up start discovering, about shea butter products and things like that, importing, exporting, and different things like that. And I start making products from shea butter products, and that's how we made the transition. So now I got a whole new clientele because at that point I didn't know that it was probably 100,000 convenience stores that sold like sprays and different stuff like that. And I started doing the numbers. I'm like, oh, we about to eat. We about to eat. And so the cosmetic business and importing and exporting was so lucrative that I looked back and said, what was I ever doing in the music? Like,
Really?
yeah. Because it's everyday products. The products that we sell, people gonna buy every day.
Yeah.
You invest in a record, it might sell, it might not sell. Do you want to live your life like that? You want to go say, I might get a paycheck or I might not get a paycheck?
No, but I do want the skin to be soft.
Right. So
That's what I do want.
yeah. So making that pivot, I start looking at business in a whole different way. I was like, man, there's things out there that we don't even know about that is so much money. But we want the glitzy, the glamour. We want to be in all those businesses that we feel like, this is where the money at because you're seeing other people. No, there's a lot of people getting a lot of money and a lot of simple stuff. So just say, for instance, our black soap. Our black soap has been on the market for maybe 15 years now, right? And I can't even, that's probably 10 times platinum. You see what I'm saying? Like our basic shea butter with scents in it, probably 10 times platinum. Because that's going to sell every day and it's always going to sell and all we doing. So now we have over 650 products, right? That's going to sell forever.
Nice.
Sell forever.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
one that's it's never gonna go out of style.
It's never going to go out of style. And I went from store to store for 10 years, just building up relationships with all the different cultures. The people, the Koreans, the Middle Easterns, the Yemens, all these different people. And now they carry, when you go into most beauty supply stores, our stuff is at the front. We got that type of space. So if you look at if you look at Walmart, that's one thing, but it's stores there's more, the other independent stores is more than what Walmart stores are. So that's where we kind of concentrated on in the era we went in.
I can say that from a standpoint of as a black woman using natural products. Walmart is not the first. It's the beauty supply store.
Right.
It is. And so I can see that.
Yeah, so Walmart, this is what people don't know. If you go into the Walmart section, 80% of a lot of the products is got some type of shea butter in it. So
nowadays, yes.
Yeah. So shea butter is in almost everything. Shea butter is the actually in the African countries, I think 30-something countries, it's a cooking grease.
Yes,
you know what I'm
it
saying?
is.
So we wholesale shea butter. We wholesale these products that people want all over the world. Natural products and things like shea butter, raw material, shea butter, cocoa butter, different carrier oils, just different things like that. Things. So it's another world out here that people don't even know about. And when I'm going to these stores, I'm the only black person I know going to them. It's the Africans, African Americans.
Yeah.
You got some Africans that, are in this business strong, but they ain't controlling the stores. So we went into a business once again, and we were able to, grab a big part of it,
I can see what works in your favor is actually instead of just reaching out like, hey, sell this or here's a sample, let me know if you want to sell it, but you are actually building a rapport with the people that own these shops, with the people that work there.
Yeah.
So, because I know here I'm on the road again, or I'm about to go in this shop, so you're very personable,
Because I don't pass it off to other people because I know it won't work. So when I'm friends with the other multimillionaires that own these stores, I can't turn that over to anybody.
Yeah.
So these people are, very, very successful, and you got to make sure that, you keep those relationships intact.
Yeah.
So if you put the wrong people in,
they could destroy what you built.
So I don't have no problem with like, look, I'm coming down there, I'm going to check on these 15, 20 stores we got in Tampa. I'm going to check on these 25 stores we got in Cleveland and stuff like that because I can't pass it off. Yeah, I can't pass it off. We have to, and I always felt like no matter if you're a CEO or whatever, you do what your strength is. Even if somebody else running the company, you do what your strength is, and then you keep the company intact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that. So you have a lot going on. So what is the future what does it look like with you now that we're in the beauty industry? What do you have moving forward?
Yeah, so we're just continuing to expand on our catalog, our products, and try to get better. We're buying stores, so we're into the mergers and acquisition part of expanding QDN. And so that's our basically for the physical. So it's QPN, which is Q Merch Physical Network.
Okay.
So we're expanding that, which means more stores, more products. And then the Q Merch Digital Network, which is our full-fledged digital network that has our podcasts and has our music and just everything on there that you can download digitally or see digitally.
I heard we're going to have some cooking shows.
Yeah, cooking shows.
News, current events.
Yeah,
So you keep
and
us
your great
up
show.
Wake up, right? Yes. So we can keep ourselves abreast of what's going on in the world and in our culture today. So, Joel, I just want to thank you for your time. Thank you for coming and sharing yourself with me and allowing me to share you with the world. But But before we do, I do want you to let us know, where can everyone go to see what you have as far as your shea butters, your body butters, your soaps. Where can we go to order that?
Yes, qmerch.net, QMERCH.net. We also have a app that you'll be able to download that's coming soon. You'll be able to download onto your phone, on your smart TV, and just a full-fledged digital network where we'll have all the different things that a regular network has plus more. Your music, your podcast, your original programming. So we got a lot of things coming.
All right. Well, Joel, I would like to thank you for your time. Thank you for giving me your time to tell your story, to hear your story, and to share it with all of our viewers out there. And I know all the people from Detroit are probably glad to hear some of their history recircling at a time like this. It's always nice to reminisce. So thank you very much. We're looking forward to what you have going on with the beauty products and your digital network. We're going to keep the world abreast on that. And I also want to give a shout out to my boy Roy from the Scottdale Podcast Cafe in Avondale Estates. Thank you for allowing us to utilize this beautiful space. And if you need podcasts, usage or anything, guys, look him up. He is wonderful. And also stay tuned in us because we have much more to come. Retailers, wholesalers, and distributors. Order your Rainbow Body Scrub by Q Merch now. Available in an array of colors and scents that are absolutely certain to fly off of your shelves. From health and fitness
to sports and business,
wake up with us, Jason and Raina,
on a Wake Up Right morning show.
Quiet on the set. 3, 2, 1.
Are you ready? 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 Are you ready?